Hey folks, Liv here once again. I'm sorry for not doing any videos this week. I was just busy. I've been still looking for a job. Which unfortunately I didn't get this job this week, but I'm gonna keep on going. I applied to a certain job this week. Hopefully I'll be getting it. I'm hoping and praying. But I turned down two jobs this week. One was just for me, and one was it was a warehouse job that could have worked for me, but they were too rushful. So, or if they rush people, like they really want you to work fast, and I have a hard time dealing with stress. But I'm gonna keep looking for jobs. I'm not giving up. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my review of Constantine 2005. And remember to subscribe to this channel, this new channel with a mask profile picture. We have 40 subs. Thank you guys for that. Just keep on subscribing. My goal is to get to 500 so I can do another Q&A video 5. And yeah, remember, sub to this channel. And share it with your friends, family. I appreciate you people sharing stuff that's support. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it a lot. Shows that you care about what I do and say on this channel, and my videos and my reviews, that you like it, and I appreciate that. And I love doing this. You know, I'm not new here YouTube. New here YouTube. I've been here for 10 years on YouTube. I just couldn't get back on my channel, so that's why I got into this new one. But anyway, guys, I've been on superhero marathon. I've been on the 2000s era of superhero movies that came out 2000 to 2009. Now I'm on the year 2005. This film, well, I want to tell you, it's more of a dystopian, I'm gonna say political action film. It's more of an action movie. This is based on a comic book. Yeah. And funny enough, it is from DC Comics and Vertigo Comics, but it is, and that is a 2005 film starring Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman and Stephen Ray and Stephen Fry and John Hurt, and that is a movie called V for Vendetta. Yes, this film was released back in 2005. This film is rated R. Yeah, strong violence and some language. It is. Yeah, it doesn't really hold back on that. It is an R-rated movie. There is blood and gore here. There's action. It's definitely not a movie for kids. It's dark. It's pretty disturbing. Yes, I would say disturbing at least. It's a dark movie. It's a dark comic book film. It is an action movie. I would say, yeah. Yeah, I don't call superhero movies action movies, but this is definitely a movie that's an action film and more about an anti-hero for a lead. But yeah, really great cast, especially Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving, who are great in this film, in my opinion. They both were all going to be in Marvel movies too. Hugo Weaving went to go play the Red Skull in Captain America: The First Avenger. Natalie Portman went on to go play Jane Foster in the Thor movies, Thor 1, Thor Dark World. She was not in Ragnarok, but she was in Love and Thunder. Yeah, she was good in that movie, but I hated that film. Yeah, that film sucks in my opinion. But anyway, get on to what this is about. I want to talk about the V character himself. V is the V, a little bit from the comics. He was created by Alan Moore and David Lloyd. He is a mysterious anarchist, vigilante, and freedom fighter who is easily recognizable by his Guy Fawkes mask, long hair, and dark clothing. He strives to topple a chilling despotic United Kingdom through acts of heroism. According to Moore, he was designed to be morally ambitious so that readers could decide for themselves whether he was a hero fighting for a cause or simply insane. I think he's both. His background and identity are never real. He's at one point he was an inmate at Lark Hill Resentment Camp, which they do mention that in this movie. One of many concerned camps where black people, Jews, liberals, beatniks, homosexuals, and Muslims are exterminated by North Fire. Yes, a lot of racism there. While there, he is a part of the group of prisoners who are subjected to horrific medical experimentations conducted by Dr. Delisle Surge. Louis Fertile is the camp's commander, while Father Anthony Lyman is a pedophile. At the camp to lend spiritual support, all prisoners who are part of the experiment die. The sole expression of the man in room 5, that is V, as early experiments, his man develops a level physical abilities and extremely expanded intelligence. I can't even read it. I'm sorry. During that time, the man had some level of communication with Village Page, former actress in prison for being a lesbian. Kept in room 4. He wrote her autobiography on toilet paper and then pushed it through a hole so he can read. Over time, the man is allowed to cross square roads and raises crops for camp officials. The man eventually starts taking amyl-based fertilizer back to his cell. Wow. In secret, the man uses the fertilizer on someone to make a gas, and on a stormy night, he detonates his homemade bomb and escapes his cell. Much of his camp is set ablaze, and many of the guards are killed by the muscular gas. The camp is eventually closed down. He adopts a new identity, V, and dons a Guy Fawkes mask and costume. V spends the next 5 years planning his revenge on the farm and building his secret base, which he calls the Shadow Gallery. He then kills most of the 40 surviving personnel from Larkill, making each killing look like an accident. Pretty interesting reading. Everything you can read about the character, the V in the live action movie, they do base them here. So it did seem like they did stick to the comic for this film. So let's get into the direction of the movie. V Vendetta sets the combat plot as V's external inspiration to choice of timing, language, and appearance. For example, the film is basically about struggle between freedom and the state. V Vendetta takes imaginary from many classic icons, both real and fictional. Development. The film was made by many of the same filmmakers involved in the Matrix series. In 1998, producer Joe Silver acquired the rights to two of Alan Moore's works, V for Vendetta and Watchmen. Watchmen will come out 2 years. I'm sorry, no, not 2 years. Just 4 years later, in 2009. After releasing a success of Roadhouse, writer Hillary Hinkin was brought in to flesh out the project with an additional draft, one that bears little, if any, relation to the finished product. With the inclusion of early satire and satirical elements not present in the graphic novel, which this is based off a graphic novel, by the way, as well as the removal of much of the novel's ambiguity, especially in regards to V's identity. The Wachowskis brothers were fans of V Vendetta, the comics, and they also worked on The Matrix, starring Keanu Reeves, which was a huge hit, I believe, in 1999. Wrote a draft screenplay that closely followed the graphic novel. During the post-production, they revisited on the third Matrix films, second and third Matrix films. They revisited the screenplay and offered the director's role to James McTire. All three were intrigued by the original themes and found them to be relevant to the political landscape. Upon revisiting the screenplay, the Wachowski said about making revisions to condense and modernize the story, while at the same time attempting to preserve its integrity and themes. James McQuarrie cited the Battles of Elders as his principal influence preparing to film the movie. Moore expertly distanced himself from the film due to his lack of involvement in its writing or directing, as well as due to a series of debuts over the film adaptations of his work. He ended cooperation with his publisher, DC Comics, as corporate parent, Warner Brothers failed to retract statements about Moore's supposed endorsements of the film. Moore said the script contained plot holes and that it ran contrary to the theme of his original work, which was to place two political extremes against one another. He argues his work had been recast as a story, current American words I can't really say, sorry. That I can't read, I mean. Per his wishes, Moore's name does not appear in the film's closing credits. Co-creator and Australia David Loy supported the film adaptation, commented that the script is very good, but the Moore would only be truly happy, sorry, with a complete comic book to screen adaptation. In 2021, Lloyd read that Mark had actually wanted to make V Vendetta into a movie around the time the comic book was originally being conceived. James Purphy was just cast as V, but dropped out after 6 weeks of filming, although at the time it was reported that this was because of the difficulties wearing the mask for the entire film. He later said that it was really due to creative differences on how V should be. He was replaced by Hugo Weaving, replacing for Joe Silver in the box of Chelsea's. Well, they worked on The Matrix, so I guess they figured he played, I think, uh, he even played Agent Smith on that. So I guess he was such a great actor, and he's a great actor. They probably thought, okay, yeah, let's make him as a V, in which they made a good choice. Director James Turner first met Natalie Portman during the filming of Star Wars Episode Two, Attack of the Clones. Fuck, I can't talk. On which he worked as assistant director in preparation for the role. Portman worked with dialect coach Barbara Spurley to speak in English accent. Creating films such as The Weather Underground and the read of the autobiography of Mention Begin. She received top billing for the film. Her role in the film has parallels to her role in Leon the Professional. According to Portman, the relationship between V and AV has a complication like the relationship in that film. There are moments when it's father's daughter. There are moments when it's like lovers. It's moments when it's mentor and student, and many times those are all at once. V Vendetta was filmed in London, England, and post Germany. Most of the film was shot on sound stages and indoor sets. Location for the three scenes: the Nose Fire Rally flashback, Lord Hill, and Bishop Lim's bedroom. The scenes that took place in the abandoned underground were filmed at the Tub Station. Filming began in early March 2004 and lasted through early in June 2004. Viva Data is the final shot by cinematographer Adrian Biddle, who died of a heart attack on December 7th. 9 months after the movie's world debut, I think the film was dedicated to him. It'll say at the end credits of the film. So the film's final scene at the Wisner, the area from Teller Square or Whitehall. According to an interview with Stephen Fry, to have helped the filmmaker obtain the unparalleled filming access, this drew criticism Blair from MP David Davis due to the film's content. However, the filmmakers denied it. The film was designed to have a refreshing look with heavy use of gray tones to give a dreary feel to it. One of the major challenges of the film was how to bring V to life from under an expressionist mask. This considerable effort was made to bring together lightning, acting, and Weaving's voice to create the proper mood for the situation. Since the mask muffled Weaving's voice, his entire dialogue was re-recorded in post-production. The music and soundtrack for the film, we have songs like "Cry Me a River" by Julia London, or "The Velvet Underground," "Found by Reason." They have three songs added to the movie. I guess they don't. I've never read the comic graphic novel of this, so I guess there's difference. It says there's difference between the film and graphic novel. I'm not gonna sit here and read all that, but many of the characters, though, from the graphic novel underwent some changes, significant changes from the film. V is characterized in the film as a romantic freedom fighter who shows concern with the loss of innocent life. However, in the graphic novel, he's portrayed as ruthless, willing to kill anyone who gets in his way. Evie transformation to V's protege is also much more. Sorry. Gordon, a very minor character in both versions, is drastically changed. The novel Gordon is a small-time criminal who takes Evie to his home after Evie abandons her on the street. The two share a brief romance before Gordon is killed by a Scottish king, which doesn't happen in the movie. Well, yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Yeah, kind of premiere of the movie with V's guy Voss mask. Cast and filmmakers attended several press conferences that allowed them to address issues surrounding the film. And of course, you got the trailer and some TV spots for the movie. Well, it's not like the movie was. It didn't have a video game, and I don't think it marketed it. They didn't market the movie at McDonald's because this movie was not a kids movie. Graphic novels, I would usually think are comic books, but they're dark comic books. You know, but for the cast, you have a good movie. Cast of the film, you have Hugo Weaving as V. He's the mass he's the mass charismatic and skilled anti-terrorist. There's been the unable subject experiments by Nosfire. Now the Portman is Evie Ammon. That is a character from the book. They do mention about her past in this movie. An employee at the state-run British television network who was rescued by V. Stephen Ray as Chief Inspector. Eric Finch of New Scotland Yard, a Minister of Investigations. The lead investigator in the V investigation who uncovers unspeakable government crime. When asked whether the politics distracted him from the film, sorry. Stephen Fry as Gordon. Let me read about these actors. Hugo Weaving, like I mentioned, uh, oh, he was in Babe, Pig in the City. Did a voice for that movie. He was Agent Smith in The Matrix. In the sequels, I believe. He was in Lord of the Rings. Of course, this movie and the first Transformers movie, he voiced Megatron. Okay, cool. I think I might remember that. And like I say, he played Joan Schmidt, Red Skull, and Captain America: The First Avenger. Sorry. Yeah, it's dark outside. He was in Hacksaw Ridge. Natalie Portman. Now, I just remember her. My first experience with her, though, was Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones. That's how I got to know her. Yeah, she was and she was in an episode of Revenge of the Sith. God, I can't speak. Padme Amidala, Queen Amidala, and like I said, the Thor movies, Thor from 2011, the Thor: The Dark World, Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, she's done other films as well. No Strings Attached, Annihilation. I'm not gonna read through her, but I think she did that horror movie Black Swan and Leon the Professional. Stephen Ray is Chief Inspector. Yeah, can't think of any of the movies I've seen him in. Well, he was in Interview with the Vampire, The End of Fair Purpose on Pluto, and Greta in 2008. And Stephen Fry, Alice in Wonderland, he was in that 2010 remake. Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, which was a sequel. And Alex Rider, Operation Stormbreaker. Yeah, okay, yeah. John Hurt as Adam Sutler. John Hurt did also another superhero movie. He was in Hellboy, but he played a good guy in that movie. Indiana Jones and King of Crystal Skull. Henry Jones Jr. Sorry. Yeah, but good actor. Tim Blake Smith as Peter Gritting. Johnny English, the first Johnny English movie. He was in Quantum of Solace as a James Bond film. He passed away back in 2017. He was in Red 2. Rupert Graves as Don McStone. Roger Elman as Louis Furlong. Sorry. Ben Miles as Roger Damask. I can't. Sinead Kostiak. I can't read that right. Sorry. Natasha Whiteman as Philip Page. John Standing as Anthony Lemon. Eddie Marson as Bernard. Clive Ashbourne as Guy Fawkes. Guy Henry as Conrad here. All right. The film was written by James McTighe. And for films like he'd written Ninja Assassin, The Raven, Survivor, Breaking In. I've seen Breaking In. But he was assistant director on many other films, like including Dark City, The Matrix film, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. It's screenplays by the Wachowskis. Now, if y'all know them, let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, they wrote Assassins? Oh, okay. That was a Richard Donner film, starring Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas and Julianne Moore. So that was a good movie. And The Matrix Reloaded, they directed that. The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions. This movie, they wrote this movie. And Speed Racer from 2008. Yeah, I remember not caring for that movie. Ninja Assassin, Jupiter Ascending Cloud, Lotus. I can't say it right. And the new Matrix movie, which I have not seen. Yeah. Based on Be Vendetta by David Lloyd. Produced by Joel Silver. And I've heard this name before. Joel Silver, I think, has done produced a lot of action movies. Sorry. That's my name. Sorry, guys, for my voice. I'm not sick or anything. Just tired. But he produced like 48 Hours starring Eddie Murphy, Ryan Nolte, Brewster's Millions, John Candy and Richard Pryor, Jumping Jack Flash, Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Weird Science, Lethal Weapon 1, Predator, Action Jackson, the late Carl Weathers was in that Die Hard, Roadhouse, Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2, Predator 2, Hudson Hawk, The Last Boy Scout, Lethal Weapon 3, Demolition Man, Richie Rich, I know he worked on that movie, Fair Game, Executive Decision, didn't care for that movie, Father's Day, never seen it, Lethal Weapon 4, The Matrix, Accent Wounds with Steven Seagal, Swordfish with Hugh Jackman and John Travolta and Holly Berry, Ghost Ship, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. This movie, of course, Fred Claus, Speed Racer, yeah, it's not that good of a movie. Like I said, Dragon Eyes, I think that's for Van Damme Unknown, starring and Sherlock Holmes, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Nonstop, and the Roadhouse remake. Yeah, I've heard things about Joe Silver. Not the from what I heard, he's not the pleasant guy to work with on a movie. Grant Hill also produced it. He's worked with the Wachowskis too. He was an associate producer, sorry, on The Crow, starring Lee Brindley, The Ghost in the Darkness, uh, Lightning Jack, Street Fighter. I just say Ghost in the Darkness, Titanic, Matrix Reloaded and Revolution, cinematography by Adrian Biddle, who, like I said, sadly passed away. Let's see any other movies he did. Aliens by James Cameron. That cinematography is very beautiful in that movie. The Princess Bride, Willow, Thelma and Louise, Judge Dredd, the Stallone version, 100 Wild Dalmatians, the 1996 remake, starring Glenn Close, Jeff Daniels, 100 Two Dalmatians, Holy Man. I think that was a. Okay, yeah, that's Eddie Murphy movie. Never seen Shanghai Nights or Shanghai Noon. No, The Mummy, The World's Not Enough, James Bond movie, edited by Martin Walsh. Jack Brown Shadow Crew. Yeah, I've seen that movie. Didn't care for it. Justice League and Wonder Woman and Justice League, DCU movies or DC movies, whatever, same thing. Music by Darren Maluch. Other film scores include Happy Now, Blood Strangers, which I've never seen, Bumblebee from 2018, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Production companies are Silver Pictures, Virtual Studios, Studio Blossberg, Veteran DC Comics Productions Inc., distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures. It was released March 17th in 2006 in the US. And on the Button-Umbathon on December 11th, 2005, the budget was $50.354 million, and the box office made $134.7 million worldwide. So it was successful at the box office. They probably didn't want to make a sequel anyway. Come on. But there will be spoilers in this movie, by the way. Alan Moore, who did write for that movies that were based from his comics, like From Hell, Leave Strange Gentleman, he refused to watch the movie. I'm like, really? I don't know why he was disappointed in Leave Strange Gentleman. Now that film, I don't think From Hell with Johnny. I think that starred Johnny Depp. I've never seen that. But I've seen Leave a Strange Gentleman. I reviewed that on here if you want to hear my thoughts on that movie. But that movie is not that bad. No. But hey, can't make somebody really watch a movie they don't want to watch it. Alright. The movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes long. Based on my Blu-ray here, it says 132 minutes long. Yeah, so it's a bit over 2 hours, the 2 hours and 10 minutes, yeah. Pretty much what the plot of this movie is about is that following World War, London is a police state occupied by a fascist government, and a vigilante only known as V uses terror tactics to fight the oppressors of the world of which he now lives. When V saves a young woman named Evie from the secret police, he discovers an ally in his fight against England's oppressors. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, and he's along with Evie, V's his vigilante fighting against this ferocious, this terrible government that is kind of it's more like a kingdom instead of a government of tyrannary. I can't say it's like run by a tyrant by John Hurt, who you have a curfew, people are tortured sometimes or beaten. It's like they're slaves almost. The government's just become a terrible place, and V fights against that, up against what's happened to him, and also like the spoilers. And Evie, played by Natalie Portman, is helping him out. And let me lose this up so you see her. She becomes bald headed a little later in the movie. She does become bald headed in the film, but I'll get more on that talking about the movie. Remember, this is just my opinion on the movie. But the movie opens up with some nice titles. You get a narration from Evie. Remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot I do of no reason. The gunpowder treason should never be forgot. But what of the man? I know his name was Guy Fawkes, and I know that in 1605, he attempted to blow up the house of Fairmont, that was really he. What was he like? Well, we're told to remember the idea, not the man, because a man fell. He can be caught, he can be killed, and forgotten. But 400 years later, and ideas can still change the world. I've witnessed firsthand the power of ideas. I've seen people kill in the name of them, and deny and die defending them. But you cannot kiss an idea, cannot touch it or hold it. Ideas do not love, and ideas that I miss. It is a man that made me remember the 5th of November, a man that I will never forget. But we get the opening titles of that man in 1605 getting caught and hanged. Then we get into Day's Rules, which is the 2020. The United Kingdom, London, is ruled by tyrant government under the North Fire Party. You have Evie, played by yeah. You see her putting on her makeup and stuff in a dress. She's gonna hang out with friends, I guess. Go hang out for the night, and then you see um V put on his mask. Which again, I like the Guy Fawkes mask. Really cool mask, and he's preparing to tie stuff up, trying to go for a fight. And she goes out, and she's past curfew, so she's open up. She has this thing for curfew. Then they're gonna try to attack and rape AV. That doesn't happen, thankfully. V shows up, talks, and they try to attack him. Tells him to piss off, but V knocks him out very easily. Like he takes his, well, he just grabs the guy, he stabs his pants down, gets you know uses his knife to get his pants down, knock the guy out, then Finch stabs the guy, and then he talks to her about government tyranny and all that. Ooh, he's up in his own talk. I can't do it. Hugo Weaving did a great job playing this character. His dialogue I thought was great in this film. And he was like, "Are you crazy?" He's like, let me show you some music. You like music? And he shows her how the government will be, not the government will be, but what he's planning. And he bombs the building down. He hands it to her. Everybody sees it. And he's like, "Wait, oh, the beauty of it." It's the Old Bailey building, and you have the government. Well, the chancellor, played by John Hurt, who talks about this terror is going to when we catch this terrorist, he's going to live the meaning of the word terror, and he wants to catch him. So he sends his detective, played by Stephen Ray, to go catch him to investigate. Then the next day, Evie goes into work, gets yelled at by her boss. You still work for me, and she gets all this stuff that she talks to this guy. He's like, you still watch that stupid show, or whatever. And she works at this TV station, and it's all the V mesh. He sees like what, and V sends all this mess because he has a plan. V breaks in the same day. He's able to sneak in there and hold a guard at gun at knife point and gets a guy to break him in there. Then he does the TV commercial saying how bad the government is and that you're living under the government's rule. That November 5th, if you follow me, and he does this really great speech. I can't do it right, but let me see. Good evening, London. Allow me first to apologize for this interruption. I do, like many of you, appreciate the comments of everyday routine, the security of the familiar, sharing of retribution. I enjoy them as much as as any block. But in the spirit of commemoration, whereby those important events of the past, usually associated with someone's death at the end of some awful bloody struggle, are celebrated with a nice holiday. I thought we could mark November the 5th, a day that is sadly no longer remembered. This is his speech, though, when he takes over the news station. A day that is sadly no longer remembered, but taking some time out of their daily life to sit down and have a little chat. There are, of course, those who do not want to use us to speak. I suspect even now, orders are being shouted into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because while the children may be used in the loud conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning. And for those who will listen, the opportunity of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there? Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And they're what you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw it. You now have censors a system of surveillance, censoring, pouring your commentary and celebrating your submission. How does this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need not only look to a mirror and know who you did it. You know who you were afraid. You were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. They were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you and your panic, and now in your panic, you turned to the High Counselor, Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. Last night, I sought to end that silence. Last night, I destroyed the ability to remind the country of what it has forgotten. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to attempt the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. Their perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, the crimes of this government remain unknown to you. Then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you will seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside me 1 year from tonight, outside the gates of Paramount, and together we shall give them a 5th of November that they should never, ever be forgot. Yeah, great dialogue there. Sorry if I didn't read it right, but the best way I could. But anyway, when we breaks into the station, the police try to break in, or try to tear down the door. A lot of people listen to him and they agree with him. Even the little girl says, he's right. You know, the cops try to break him. He used all his hostages to wear his mask, to wear to dress up like him, tied up. And the cops said, shoot one hostage. And then he puts all the smoke out. And they try to get one guy. And it's like, I'm not V, I'm not him. And then the real V shows up. He says sword starts slashing some throats, and you just see blood squabs going. The blood, it's not CGI, it looks like practical blood. When he's fighting this guy, then he goes to one cop, punches him right in the guts. Like V looks at him with his mask and he finishes him. About to walk out of the building, V sees him, like hiding. I forget to mention she carries pepper spray. This cop points the gun at V. She listened to his message too, by the way. Everybody in London heard it on the news, and he shot. That was a people in their homes listen to it. People in the bar will listen to it. He's like, London's finest. He's about to arrest. He's like, freeze, put your hands up. And Evie, sneaks to the cop, sprays him. He knocks her down. He, punches the cop. Brings. Then he brings her to his hideout, which he calls the shallow gallery. And she's like, "What am I doing here? What are you going to do to me?" He's like, "Oh, I'm not nothing, but Evie, you should trust me. You must have done that for a reason to help me." But she must go, "I'm sorry, I can't allow that because you might not tell them where I'm at." He's like, "I won't say anything, I promise, but I can't take that chance." And he tells her, "Well, I saved your life, you know." And she was wanted because she was a lady up there with him, so the police suspect her or consider her suspect, so they could probably torture her. And so he's just doing it to protect her because he believes that Evie wants his mission. Wants to help him. He even cooks her breakfast in the morning. He shoots his hands. His hands are really burned real bad. It's more into his backstory I get to later. Then you find out that V is killing these government officials, but for a reason. There's this guy on TV who talks about V, or show that stuff. He's like taking a shower. He's able to use like V's code pass to sneak in there, and and it was at Larkin Hill where you find out that V was tortured and they would kill people and stuff. It was like a real bad prison, and the bodies they would throw bodies in a big grave and burn the bodies. Um, but he's able to cause an explosion. Meanwhile, he gets burned. And see the thing about when you look at him, V is scarred for life. That's why he wears the mask and stuff. He's got muscles and face under there, but it's all burned and skinned alive. And he basically has no eyes. Yeah, but that's what makes him an interesting character. He was just a man that was tortured almost to death and had escaped this terrible prison. Things were done to him, but he kills his government official. He's like, the triangle of respect. Kills the guy, stabs him. Um, then he kills this priest who is a freaking, you know, pedophile. Evie, he is Evie to go undercover for him. I'll admit she does like, hey, now, Natalie Portman dresses up like kind of like a Barbie. Not as bizarre, but she's gorgeous in it. And she tries to tell him that there's a man named V. He's coming to kill you, and he doesn't believe her. He tries to. Oh, this is what pissed me off a lot. You know, the pedophile priest tries to rape her. I didn't like that scene. Him trying to do that, but Evie kicks him off. V. You see V like jumping on top of the building, which I thought was cool. He gets down there just in time before the priest can try to do anything else to her, and yeah, he tries to get a gun and shoot her. But V grabs him and V stabs at him and kills him. I mean, he'd be honest, he had it coming. He's a freaking pedophile. Mm. I mean, for a priest who rapes children, I mean, that's just messed up. That's just really disturbing. But Eve runs to this. She's like, "It's wrong. You're gonna kill people." He's like, "You keep doing." It's like, "Yes, I will." She watches TV with him. He watches this. He's got like a call it back in the 50s. You had it like in the restaurants. We could play a record label or something. It was something like that. I don't know. God, I don't live back in those days. But anyway, I like when V's practicing with his knife. He's like watching his favorite old movie, and he's a message. Quoting lines from the movie because that was, funny. But she runs away to Stephen Fry, uh, and he even, I like it when he makes her eggs in the morning. He's like, "All right, Evie, I'm V, I'm he, I'm the one the whole time." But he's actually messing with her. They talk about, that he believes that V is right, that he's doing the right thing here, that she should support it. But Evie is not sure about supporting what he's doing. The government's uh, uh, new chancellor, Adam Sutler, John Hurt, wants to demand and capture V. They investigate. Uh, Stephen Ray is able to find out about Lachlan Hill. He finds out that the last person killed is a medical examiner. Changed her name, but deeply she regrets what she has done. And she even apologized to VV. I think somewhat does forgive her. I think she was mostly the innocent one. She thought she was doing something important job, but what she did, I guess you can say, is wrong. And she knew that. And he's like, "You're going to kill me now?" I was like, he gives her a red rose to his victim. and he poisons her. She just dies peacefully though. But John, yeah, Stephen Fry has his comedy TV show, and he's making fun of John Hurt. He's like, yes, I do like drinking milk. And then they have somebody just with V. It's like cartoon with him chasing V. It's supposed to be silly, fun, and stupid. It's funny when Steve Fry does it, but doing that pisses off the government. You know, pisses off the chancellor, and he sends Mr. Greedy or Grady, whatever his name is, send him after him. They, Evie hides under the bed. Like you find out about her past that her parents. She even tells V about her past that her parents were kidnapped, tortured. I think basically sent to a prison as well. You know, because of the way they lived. They try to get out though, but they didn't want to run from the government. They didn't want to show that they were afraid. But we see Stephen Ray get hit by a baton, beats him with that. You see when they kill him, Eve tries to escape, and then this guy captures her. It's actually captured, and she gets captured. He gets incarcerated and tortured for days for information about V. She's like, tell me the information about V. Like, no. Then she reads this past about this woman that was a lesbian. That yeah, you see a bit of this past her reading the story, and she's like, she won't reveal V. She's like, waste your time stuffing somebody. And he says something to her that's strange. She's like, huh? And then spoiler, you actually find out it's V torturing her. He has a setup. He does torture her. Yeah, it's disturbing what he does, but I think he does it to teach you what he went through, how bad the government is, what they're doing to innocent people. You know, basically treating you like a slave and putting you in prison for no reason. Unfortunately, he puts her through that. He cuts her hair, and he's like, "I apologize." He's like, "Evie," and she, breaks down. But he's like, "Evie, it's okay, it's okay." And she goes up to the, outside. It screams out all that pain and the rain. Amazingly shot scene, really well cinematography. But the actress name was Valerie Page, who was arrested for being a lesbian, but she didn't. She refused to view the location. Basically, that V's convinced her now that she comes to his side. But he did it to free her from her fears, which works. But he tells Valerie that V said that he knew Valerie, that she was the one that passed him the notes from the toilet paper, talking about her life story. She does leave him with a promise to return before the 5th of November, and he learns about V's origins. V goes undercover like as an old man, wearing a mask, not as himself. What happened was Britain suffered in the resulting chaos. Northfire led to purge to restore an order during which enemies of the state disappeared. The country was divided over the loss of freedom and bioterroristic attack upon a school resulted in 8,000 deaths in the movie. And when Chancellor Adam Sutler won, that's when he began to build those prisons and stuff. Yeah, becoming more like a tyrant, or a dictator, if you will. V did manage to, got heightened abilities and managed to escape when the center was destroyed. V gives out these 100,000 Guy Fawkes masks of his mask. people. You have kids. You even have a scene with a little girl wearing it, and the little girl gets shot. Yes, I'm not kidding you. Yeah, that's how dark this movie is. You get people get tortured. A little girl that gets shot. People for just being who they just want to be get killed for it. And that's what V is fighting for, the freedom. And this dictator doesn't like that. So it's like anybody caught wearing that mask will be killed. That's what they start doing. You know, people start wearing the mask. Evie eventually comes back to V playing the June box. I think it's called June box music, and they have a dance. And she's like, V, I would like to take your mask off. Starts falling in love with him. This is where the $5, kind of relationship begins. There is no face. He tells, she tries to give him a kiss. She does kiss him in his face, but when he's wearing the mask. V says, there is a face beneath the mask, but it's not me. I'm no more than face than I am the muscles beneath it, or the bones beneath them. Then he takes her to this train, tells her, to set it up, this train will cause the explosions around the buildings, you know, for November 5th. This abandoned train, London Underground. He filled it with explosives. Took him time to do over the years. We're gonna mention, eventually Governor, you know, John Hurt, who plays the dictator, governor, that's what I'm calling him. Keeps on telling him to keep on doing your things, keep your personal phones to yourself, detective. You arrest him, or I'll fire you. Demanding wants to kill V. He leaves it to V whether she wants to use it or not. He's like, the choice is yours. He made his deal with Greedy, and then he made a deal with V to hand over in exchange for V's surrender. V kind of cornered him earlier, got him at his house, snuck at him with a knife, and made a deal with him. And he brings the governor, and I was like, "Hello, governor. Let me make sure you feel my pain. That you're the last one puts the red rose in, and they shoot, they shoot him in the head. Greedy goes. He says, okay, make a deal. Take off that mask. He's like, never. So we made a deal. He's like, I refuse to surrender. That he lied to him. So they just have a showdown with Greedy. They shoot him like kind of the way they did the crow. They shoot him. But V is human though. You find out that he's wearing a breastplate, because he's got like nightstands of knights, and he's like wearing a breastplate of knights of that's protecting him from the bullets. Still injures him. He's like, what are you? He's like, they pow 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 pow. They shoot me. He's like, my turn. With a knife, you know, stabs one guy. It's slow motion. Let's just say the director of this movie does it a lot better, I think, than Zack Snyder does. The 300 had a lot of that. 300 is an overrated movie in my opinion. James McTerry, he did a great job with the slow motion. Very well shot for V to have a final fight with the cops. You know, he's using knives. He's cutting throats, slashing throats, so people up, throwing a knife, throw the knife to, throw the knife to a guy's head, and he's like, I'm gonna, kill you by, give my hands right. He's supposed to do that, and he starts to unload, and when he kills the last cop, Greedy comes to face Greedy. Greedy shoots like, die. Why won't you die? Then he picks him up, chokes him, and breaks Greedy neck, killing him. The breastplate protected him, though he did still get wounded by some of the bullets that are still in some of his parts of his body. He goes to V returns to Evie to thank her. Dies in his arm, and she places V's body in the train. She's like, I don't want to lose you, V. You're my friend. but haven't learned much about the corporation of the Northfire regime. She puts all those red flowers around him. Finch allows Evie to send the train on his way. Thousands of Londoners who are all dressed up like Guy Fawkes, they don't get clear to shoot or anything from the council or nothing at all. So they let him go. And you get all the people where you probably see it in my thumbnail for this review, where they're wearing these masks. They march, and it's a really well shot scene. I think awesome scene. They give the orders. The military stands down in the face of it. There and the big Parliament and Big Ben are destroyed as Evie and Finch live on, giving V a Viking funeral, saying that he succeeded in bringing freedom to London. Bringing freedom back from this dictator. Meaning that they took his speech to heart and they watched for him. It's the little girl that takes the mask off, or these lesbians that take the mask off. And yeah, then that's the end of the movie. That's V for Vendetta. Yeah, definitely an underrated movie in my opinion. So let me see if I can give Evie's uh, artists who use lies to tell the truth, while politicians use them to cover the truth. I do like it. There's a line in that movie where V says, "Government should be afraid of their people. The government should be afraid of them." Something like that. No one will forget that night. She says, what it meant to this country. My father, my mother, my brother, my friend. Forget the man. What he meant to me. Probably read that dialogue already. Yeah. Let's see some of the dialogue. Please introduction to evening. Good evening. Oh, beneath the oh, he tells Mr. Greedy. Beneath the mask is more than flesh. Beneath the mask there is not no idea. Mr. Greedy and the ideas are bulletproof. In view, a humble medallion, veteran cast as both victims and villains by the side of fate. Fetches no more. No fake fetch ever this fellow's position. I can't read some of these words. The only victor is vengeance. If vendetta houses this was not in vain, for the value and verily as such shall only vindicate the vigilante and the virtuous. Thirdly, the trust. I can't read some of it, but good honor to meet you, and you may call me the. I can't read some of that dialogue, sorry. My fellow Englishmen, tonight our country, that which is we stand for, will hold your faces a grave terrible threat. This bids violent, and it's apparently assault on our security. We're not going to defend it. Our punishment. Our enemies in cities are seeking to divide us and destroy the every foundation of our great nation. The must remain steadfast. We must remain determined. But most of all, we must remain untitled. Those caught tonight in violation of proof, we considered in league with our enemy. First key to the terrorists without leniency or expectation. Tonight, I give you my most solemn vow that justice will be swift. It will be righteous without mercy. I'm not going to sit here reading the whole dialogue. Kind of fun. Anyway, that's all I can say about the movie. But we're going to get my final opinion on V Vendetta. I don't know where 54 minutes in. I'm about to be done here. By the way, I hope you all like my YouTube shirt. Yep, that's my YouTube channel on it. But anyway, to get my final thoughts on V Vendetta is, yeah, it's not the original poster, but whatever, it's still good. This is a 4K release, by the way, but it's on Blu-ray as well. But if you love the movie, if you want to get it on 4K, I definitely recommend picking this up. Sure, it looks good on 4K. I don't know, but I do like the cover of Natalie Portman and stuff. But yeah, but this movie is great in my opinion. Definitely an underrated film. Before I get well, what I liked about the story. Now, I don't know anything about politics. I don't really care for politics. That's just me. This is the right person in office, but I'm not a political person. I don't know nothing about politics. I don't want to get into that argument. I know nothing about it. Um, but I do like to set up that, you know, like London is, you know, it's under dictatorship mostly, and people who are killed for just being themselves are just they don't really have any freedom like in London. Like it's they don't have freedom in this movie. And V, the vigilante, I'd start the character as both you know I would say a terrorist, but a hero in his own right, but insane as well. An anti-hero, as I would describe V. He does kill. He does have a dark past with that being trapped in that prison camp and tortured, and it changed him, made him insane, and he fights against the government to do what they did was wrong, and tries to fight against the government, which I like, you know, and what they did was wrong, and the movie he stands for that. And V is a vigilante, but as well, but I wouldn't say he's a hero. He does kill, like I said, he does kill cops in here. There's blood and gore, you know, but hey, he kills a pedophile. That was that priest. He was a bastard pedophile. So okay, yeah, you know, that guy had that coming. Even though I know it's just a movie. But yeah, I don't like pedophiles on it. We do got them in real life too, unfortunately, sadly, and it's sick. But but I do think Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman do a great job in this film. Her as Evie Amanda Evie, who was a woman with a mysterious past of herself, her parents being tortured, her just willingly living under the government, just live it like the way it is, or just seems not to be aware of it, or doesn't pay attention to. V wakes her up, and V does torture her badly, but she wakes up and realizes that he's right, and everybody listens to his speech. Great speech, by the way. Heel evening. He looks good in the costume. The mask, the guy's false mask was really cool. The hat and cloak and stuff. Cloak and dagger a little bit. That looks really cool. And the swords, knives look really cool too. When he gets into action, it's awesome. I do wish there was a bit more of action scenes with V, but some more actually shot scenes with him. I think James McTiernan did a good job directing. Screenplay by the Atrocities, they did really good. Joe Silver, Grant, Wachowski's, they did a good job producing this movie and writing the screenplay for it. Cinematography by like Adrian Little is really beautiful. I like it. Cinematography is really nice. The editing is really good. The action scenes are really good. No shaky camera, no bad editing or anything. The chemistry is still good action, perfectly edited in my opinion. The music score, uh, good when it's there. And yeah, 133 minutes long. Yeah, it is 2 hours 10 minutes. I do think you could have cut some stuff out of it. I get it. They're trying to comic book a little bit. I'm like, yeah. But I like the story. I thought the story was good. The special effects when they have CGI in it, the CGI does look good for 2005. The action scenes are very well shot. They look very practical to me. Maybe a little CGI in there. I don't know. I didn't really notice it. It was good CGI. It looked pretty practical. It was kind of it was like blended in, but it was really well shot action too. When the action there is really good, and it has a good story. It's a shame that the guy that Alan Moore didn't want to see this movie. And this is definitely better than Leave a Story, Gentlemen, in my opinion, because it sticks. It feels like it's a little more grounded with the story. Leave a Story, Gentlemen has a good story. It just needed, you needed to, especially with the way they did the villains, I didn't like. You could have done better with that. That kind of felt like rushed in that movie. But when here, with the running time, it does feel like the villain is Mr. Greedy. The villain, the villains are really good in here, and you see what V is fighting for. He's such a, he's an interesting character. He's a fascinating character. You know, yeah, a vigilante who is insane. I would say definitely. But that's what the government did him. But it has a really good story. Natalie Portman, Hugo Weaving, even behind the mask, they have good chemistry. And when he dies at the end, it is sad. But it was an amazing. The ending is epic. That's all I'll say. I love the ending. Them all wearing the guy's fault mask. Really great ending in my opinion. Now let me get to my problems. Now you could have cut some of that stuff out of this movie. Like I didn't need the pedophile priest almost raping Natalie Portman, or two scenes where well, it was almost one scene but it didn't happen. But if I remember, I didn't like that scene. Seeing a woman get raped, that's just terrible to watch. I hate seeing that. It's just this degraded. disgraceful to women, in my opinion. It's just awful, an awful thing for that to happen to a woman. It's disgusting. It's just nasty, you know. And I didn't like the lesbian stuff. If you're, I know people against who are homo. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say homosexuals. I'm sorry I said that. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to offend anybody. I don't say that. No, I'm not homophobic. I don't support people who have that lifestyle. But if you like want to live that way, that I have no problem with that. But that's just not for me. You have two women kissing here from the past. I get it. Verily Page is part of the comic, and we see her story. But I don't think you really needed that. I think they could have cut that out. I get it. V wants her to experience, face her fears, get over her fears and stuff, and shows her a bit of his past. I get that, but I think you could have cut that out, cut that scene out. You know, yeah. I didn't need to see two women kissing. I mean, I'm just okay. We don't need no women kissing. We don't need the yeah. I know it's a part of the story, but I just don't care for that. That's just me. Despite that, this movie's still great though. Definitely a really underrated movie. I don't get why it doesn't get talked about. It should get talked about more. It's definitely better. It's better than a lot of comic book movies that we get today because it's a very well shot movie too. Cinematography is beautiful, good action, and a really good story. I just have those few issues with it, and maybe you could have just trimmed down a little bit of the movie, just some of it down, just a little bit. There's a lot of talking with dialogue. I would have wished to see V more action. Um, we do get some a little bit in the beginning and the station at the end with the cops. I get it, it's about story, and it's a good story. I'm not complaining. It's a very good story that you can follow, and the pacing is good. Yeah, I'm saying you could have trimmed stuff down a little bit from the movie, trim it down a bit. I didn't need the 2 hours and 10 minutes runtime. You could have cut a little bit of 10 minutes out of it for me. You could have cut like 10 minutes out of the film. You know, and I would love to see V in action a little more in his costume. Yeah, he does fight some guys, but he takes them down very easily. You know, I want to see him like fight an army. That would have been awesome. A little bit more of the action. A little more action would be nice. So, a little bit more action. And again, I get it. It's a political action film. You know, about not allowing the government to take control of your life. That's the way I see it. And just to me, it's basically about freedom. You should have the freedom, free will to the way that you want to live. Can't keep people in prisons. It's just not right. You know, men are created equal, and we deserve our freedom. Nobody should be in prison for something they didn't do. You know, but that's V Vendetta. That's all I can. That's my thoughts on it. That's that's just my point of view of the movie. Okay. So if I hear, you got it wrong, that doesn't matter if I got it wrong. That's not, there is no right or wrong answers to a movie. But anyway, this is just my opinion, guys. All right, I'm done here, and we're now 3 minutes in. For a moment, I'm done here. So my rating for V Vendetta, I'm gonna give it my rating for this film. Just so I do have some of my issues with it. I'm still gonna rate it my rating for this film. I'm gonna give V Vendetta a thumbs up. My rating for this film is 4 to 5 stars. So guys, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of V Vendetta in your opinion? Do you like it or do you start for the player? And remember, I put the nice slipcover back. I really love the slipcover. I love the artwork here. But maybe they could have added, you know, Natalie Portman's face more to the up for the poster, and then V on the bottom with the people in the mask. I think that was the original poster of the movie. Or what? No, we'll see it. I'll share it on Facebook. Your friends me on Facebook. But yeah, that's a great poster. You could have had that instead on here. That probably would have made the poster. It's still good artwork, but they could have done a little better with the 4K. I think with the artwork. I mean, but just to mention, Beetlejuice has great artwork. A lot of 4Ks or Blu-rays have great artwork on them. Artwork for movies, and I love artwork. I love the way you can make it look, but I do think this should have been better with a 4K cover. You know, covers are really important to me. I think that makes the physical media look great, makes the movie look awesome. Artwork should be great. Very dedicated to doing the movie justice. But still, it's still good though. Movie Vendetta, I love this movie. My rating for this film once again is 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. And again, don't let your kids watch this movie. If anybody's watching this video, if you have children, don't let them watch this film. This is a rated R movie. It does have blood and gore in it, language. You know, yeah, it's it's a very dark movie. It's based on a graphic novel. It's very dark and it is violent. So don't let your kids watch this movie. Yeah, it's not a children's movie. It's for adults only. Um, what was it for the? Nope, nope, nope. That won't be next. In the next superhero review will be the next review will be the Adventures of Sharp Boy and Lava Girl. Yeah, this I looked it up on IMDb. It's a superhero movie, and this one did come out in 2005. So the Adventures of Sharp Boy and Lava Girl. This will be next. My next review. Yep. Remember not caring for it. I've only seen it once. I remember not being a fan of it. But who knows? But anyway, guys, that's my review of V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for my next review, which will be probably tomorrow. The Adventures of Sharp Boy and Lava Girl. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this 2000 super review, V for Vendetta. So let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? Do you like it or do you hate it? Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Bye. Bye.